Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome once again in our conversation on Ramayana. And today we are moving forward with the verse that we were discussing in the previous class. We discussed about how a person should listen to the knowledge, to the discussions, to the teachings that his teacher, his guru offers him, as it's said by Sage Sutta to the other sages. They should listen to him with complete concentration, with complete devotion, devoting themselves in whatever he says. And when a person does this, all of the teachings, all of the knowledges and wisdom gets absorbed by him, by his existence. And then that power, that knowledge is seen in his actions. So there is this connectivity in anyone's actions and what he listens. This is the link between a person's actions and what he hears. Whatever we hear, our ears feel that. And when we hear something that extensively affects our entire being, and when our entire self is affected by it, our action become compatible with whatever we heard. That's why it is always said that always hear good things, always watch good things. Bhadram karnebhi shrunuyam. So that's why it is said that whatever you hear, whenever you hear something, always hear the good things. So that's why Sage Sutta is saying that whatever discussion, whatever knowledge I'm gonna give you now, you hear it, you listen it, you understand it with utter dedication, with complete concentration. And one more thing I wanted to tell you, that suppose a teacher set a student to memorize something. It is said by the teacher, and when the student hears this, a program appears in his entire body. Should I hear it? Should I listen to this? Or should I not abide with whatever the teacher said? If he doesn't abide with the fact to memorize and listen, then a revolt appears in him against his teacher. And the teacher says to him, you memorize it, I am here to see how much you have memorized the lessons or not. And ultimately, if the student doesn't memorize, the teacher after 2 hours, 3 hours goes away. And the student feels that he is not defeated. He won the match, sort of. But actually, you didn't defeat the teacher. You were defeated by yourselves, by your own heart, by your own mind, your negative feeling, your negative thought. Just order you not to listen the suggestions, not to listen the orders of your teacher. And when you do so, you are defeated by your own feelings. You are defeated by your own negative self. You didn't defeat the teacher. That teacher was helping you to raise above this negativity. And when you are defeated by this negativity, you feel shattered. That's why it is said that always listen completely to whatever right is being said to you. Our teachers, our elders, our parents always say us the right things. And so we should completely listen to them. We should listen 100% to them. Because this life is not just 99%. Nothing we see in institutes, they take marks 99%, 99.99%. All right? But in this university of life, you're required to be 100% adequate. You're required to be 100% perfect. Then only you could achieve success and prosperity and happiness in this life. That's why Sage Sutta is asking all the sages that whatever I say, you understand it, you listen it, you absorb it with complete concentration. Then only you'll be able to go through the teachings that I am delivering you. And that's how it is that we should always listen to our elders, to the people who are greater in knowledge, who are greater in wisdom, who are greater elevated in experiences. And that requires training, continuous training to listen, to abide by the laws of the elders that they set for us. And when you train yourselves, then you gain the power, you gain the energy to listen to them. Everything in the world requires training. Every work in this world requires training. Without training, you cannot achieve a complete fruition. You cannot achieve fruition in your work. You cannot achieve culmination in your work unless you train every day, unless you pour yourself, unless you thrust yourself completely in that work. So this work of listening to others, of abiding by the laws of the elders, of the parents, of great people, of idle people, of great men that lived on this planet is utterly necessary for every person, every being, every human being. Because whatever they told us, it was only for the upliftment of ours. So when we align ourselves to the teachings by listening them, abiding by the laws set by them, and utilizing those laws in our actions, in our behaviors, in our lives, then our lives become the happiest life on earth. And that's how we influence others and also tend them to live the same life that we are living. Because this world requires a live example. All the great men that have delivered great messages to people, they're no longer present on this earth. And how the people would understand through a live example how a person looks like when he follows all the rules and regulations that were set by great men. And when you become that person, the people are inspired so much. The people get real, live inspiration from your life. That's why it is necessary for someone to take an initiative. And you are the person, you have to do that. No other person is gonna take the responsibility. You don't throw your works, throw your responsibilities on someone else. You raise yourself, you wake up, you stand up to take the responsibility, to take the accountability of the work that you were meant to do on this earth. And then, after some years of austerity, after some years of penance, you become the person who showers pleasure, who scatters happiness in the entire existence around us. And that's how you would be able to make yourself useful for the community. By becoming useful for yourself, this journey starts from self. The journey of this society, the journey to expand yourself socially, starts from you, from the nucleus. You are the nucleus. You are the spark. And unless this spark is ignited, you cannot help this community. You cannot help this society. You cannot help this country and the world. That's why it is required, it is always said, that every person should take the responsibility to awaken himself, to awake himself up. And when you do so, this is the medium, this is the way to awake yourselves. Listen to whatever our elders said. Listen to whatever great people said. And when you do that, you become a prosperous person. You become a wealthy person that we discussed in the previous class. Prosperity is not only seen, should not only be understood by money. Prosperity also should be believed and understood that prosperity is also mental. You should have mental prosperity. You should have emotional prosperity. You should have the prosperity to work hard. You should have the prosperity to feel others' emotions. these all prosperities combine to make you a prosperous, real prosperous person. Then you could say yourself that I am a prosperous person, and all this starts from listening. By listening whatever our elders said and applying those ideas, those informations, those knowledges, those wisdoms, those experiences in your own life. And first, you could see and you could have experienced that whenever you try to do something good in your life, you order your heart, your mind, your feelings, your emotions that I would live this life, great life. And for some times, your heart really believes that, takes that order, and does works in that way. But after some times, the continuity breaks down. And when you are able to not let anything, any obstacle break this continuity of this heart believing and abiding by your orders, then you become a real person. Then you should believe that your austerity has paid off. You have really austered in your life. So this was the meaning, the amplification of this word, listen my words, what Sage Sutta was saying to the sages, that you listen my words, susamahitaha. He used this word, and this was the real meaning that I delivered to you. And in the next verse, we'll move towards the next verse in which he says, Mahapataka yukto va yukto va sarvapatakahi. He says, Mahapataka yukto va sarvapatakahi shutva etad arsham divyam hi kavyam shuddhim avapnuyat. He says that even the greatest of the greatest sinful person, a person who is sinful, who has accumulated so many sins in his life, and when he hears this scripture, when he hears this knowledge, his sin is removed, is washed away. The same way, same knowledge, we also hear, we also study in Gita. Gita also delivers us the same knowledge, and it says, Apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananyabhat. There, Sri Krishna says that even the person who is the most fallen down person, even when he starts praying to me, believing me, and absorbing my teachings, when he starts doing so and utilizing, applying my teachings in his life, he also could filter himself from all those bad works that he did, from all those sins that he did. The same thing is said here, Mahapataka yuktova. A person who is so much downfallen, he could also pass, he could also traverse this ocean of sin that he committed in his life by hearing, by listening, and by applying the teachings of this Ramayana, this scripture, in his life. And next word, what he said, Yukto va sarvapatakahi. Even if he is encased, even if he is enveloped by not only one sin, by so many sins, by infinite number of sins, that person, even that person could also elevate himself by hearing the knowledge of this scripture. Shutva etad arsham divyam hi kavyam shuddhim va apnuyat. And hearing, listening this scripture, he would gain purification. He would cleanse himself, because look, knowledge, wisdom is the greatest purifier. You clean your body every day. You clean your house every day. You clean your hairs every day. But this heart, this inner self also requires cleaning. We forget about it. We take precautions on cleaning our homes. We clean them every day. We clean our body every day. We clean our clothes every day. But what about your feelings, your inner self? Wherever this cleaning process not appears, eventually, it is the nature of dirtiness to amass there. It is the nature of dirtiness to take place. If there is no cleaning, if there is no brooming, if no brooming of that place occurs. So it's equally necessary to clean your inner self, your conscience as well, as you clean your rooms, your house, your body, your clothes. And how to clean your inner self? What is the way to clean your conscience? The way to clean your inner self, your feelings, your emotions, your heart, is to listen to the scriptures and abide by the laws of the scriptures, abide by the teachings and knowledge and suggestions of the scriptures. That's what Ramayana says, that whatever sin you committed in your life, whatever sinful you are, whatever downfallen you are, no problem. Every day, sun rises. Every day, the darkness appears, but every day, sun rises. So don't regret in your life. Regret can't bring anything. Start waking up. Wake up. The sun, whenever you wake up, it means the sun has risen. So now, you start listening to the scriptic knowledge. You start abiding by the laws, by the rules of the scriptic knowledge, and then eventually it becomes a person who is cleansed from everywhere, from every spheres. Shaucha Santosha Tapah Swadhyaya. So in Yoga Darshana, the first place is given to Shauch, to purification, and then all other things come up. Why in Yoga Darshana this Shauch, this purification from inner side, from outer side, from everywhere? Why is this word Shaucha, this purification, is given the first place? Because it has great importance. Unless you are clean from inside and out, you cannot be that person who is said to have understood and applied all the good rules of life in his entire life. So this is the importance of the scriptures. They purify us. They purify our inner self. And that's why you must read them, listen them, understand them, hear them anyway, because they purify you. Everything in this world requires purification. Today there is a great rush in purification. Water, we need water purified. We need air purified. You need everything purified. All right? And what about your inner self, which always lives with you, which always lives so much close to you, and you pay no attention towards cleaning it? So it's a great offense towards your inner self, towards your heart. It also requires cleaning. Your feelings, your emotions, your entire existence requires cleaning. And that can only be possible when you're connected to scriptures like Ramayana, the Gita, the Mahabharata, all the scriptures that were produced, that were made only for the upliftment of your conscience, only for the upliftment of your feelings, of your emotions, of your heart, of your entire existence. So to bring your attention towards learning and listening and applying the teachings of the scriptures in your life. And in the next verse, what Seth Sutta is saying, he says, Ramayane Vartamane Papa Pashena Yantritaha Anadritya Asadgatha Asakt Buddhi Pravartate. And now he is discussing about those people who don't have any sort of feelings about the scriptures, who don't have good feelings towards the scriptures. Who are those people? What are the signs of those people? And next, he says that those people who are completely cladded with sin, that cannot see the outer truth, which lies far away from the envelope of sin that has covered them. Those people do not understand the vast knowledge of the scripture, and those people, always uselessly, always throw themselves in unnecessary works, unproductive works. And that's why those people never listen to it, never understand this knowledge that Ramayana delivers to them. And when any person does that, that means he has not completely purified himself. The purification has not happened. The trash is still remaining in some part of his heart, of his entire existence. And that's why, which is pulling him away from understanding this knowledge. And when the person forcefully, by the grace of God, when he understands what is truth, what is wrong, what is evil, what is good, then he comes to gain this knowledge and rectifies his life. So it's about those people who don't take attention in learning this knowledge. So whenever you see those people, it's about the common people, normal people who are willing to understand this knowledge. Sometimes we get influenced by bad people. That person never pays attention to hear these scriptures. Why should I? He is my best friend. He never pays attention in these things, and he enjoys his life. He is a good person. I mean, he is a happy person. He lives his life fullest. Why should I do that? I would also follow him. That means you had little goodness in you. His badness, his bad work is suppressing you, is influencing you. That means your goodness is not much elevated. If your goodness was elevated, then your goodness would have had its impact on his badness. He would have become a pure person, looking at you, watching you, that my friend is understanding, is paying attention to all these good things. I should also do that. He's a good person. I know him. I should also do that. So never get influenced by bad people. Try to uplift yourself so much that bad people get influenced by you. It is your work. That's why this verse is encrypted here. That's why this verse is presented here, that never get influenced by bad people, by the works of bad people, by the actions of bad people. Just looking at their outer image. Anything that is good from outside doesn't mean that it is good from inside. All that glitters is not gold. We've heard this phrase so many times, but now apply this word, this knowledge in your life. When you do so, you'd understand the true meaning of this verse. This verse is uplifting you. This verse is just giving you the information that never get influenced by bad people, by their words. Indeed, rather, you become so much uplifted that bad people get inspired by you. They make their idol you. You become the idol to them, how to live the life, so that you become happy for yourself and for your family, for entire society, for your entire community, for entire country, and ultimately entire human race. So you should become an influencer. You should become that person who influences even the bad person, even the worst person, to change his direction. You become the person that forces badness to reverse its direction and start aligning itself towards the path, with the path of goodness. And that's your work. That's your job. Understand your job, your work, and apply your entire life for that. And the next verse, Sage Sutta is saying, Ramayanam nama paramam tu kavyam supunyadam vai shrinuta dvijendraha. Setsuda is saying to his sages that are sitting in front of him, he is addressing them as Dvijendraha. In the previous classes, I described you the meaning of what is Dvija. Any person who has gained a second birth. One birth we get from our mothers. That is the birth of this external body that we see, we understand. And the second birth happens in front of Guru, in front of spiritual teacher, when he awakens our inner self, when he gives a new birth to us by his knowledge, by his power of divinity. That is the real birth of a person. Otherwise, every person is living like an animal. He's building houses, he's making money. I mean, what is the purpose of making money? To fill your stomach, all right? So all these animal works are human are doing all these works that are done by these animals, building houses, eating food, reproduction, and raising their children, and one day dying. But what is the main purpose of this life? What is the true birth of this life? The true birth of this life is that you become concerned, you become a conscious, you achieve the consciousness by the knowledge of Guru. And when that divine knowledge takes birth in you, that is the real birth that you get by the grace of your Guru, by the grace of your teacher. And that also happens when grace of God falls on you. So in today's class, we discuss about the importance of the scripture, importance of listening it, and importance of utilizing all these teachings in your lives. So we end our class here today, and we'll start our next discussions in the next class. Thank you. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.